Have you ever wondered how to tune and delete a 2020 to 2022 Powerstroke? Well, in this video, we're going to be doing a how-to step-by-step video exactly showing how to do this in your own garage or in a professional shop. So as you guys know, the EPA is very stiff on all this stuff, and so this video is going to be a worldwide video. If you're in a place, you need to look up your local laws, regulations, and make sure that it is legal for you to do this. If it is not, I advise you not to do this. All right, step one, getting your kit. Finding out exactly what you need, and an all-in-one kit, dynamicdiesels.com. I'll put a link down below. Click that link, and they have everything for any truck that you need, specifically the 2020 to 2022 Ford F-250, F-350, F-450s. Now, going forward, they are very quality parts. Top-tier customer service, quality parts. They come very quick. The shipping does not take very long. And you know what you're getting when you buy these kits. I use them all the time, and it's the only place I actually use. So if you want to get a good kit, all-in-one bundle, that's the place to go. So basically, when you go on that website, you put in your make, your model, and everything, and you get to almost customize your kit that you want. They have multiple kits, or you can buy the parts separately. So in this kit that we got, it is a full 4-inch exhaust. Comes in this big old box over here. Then you get your tuner and your tunes. You have to put your VIN in there, link your VIN and everything. So everything will be on the cloud. The best thing about EasyLink is it's all in the cloud. You don't have to stress about a file on a email and using a computer, etc., etc. This hooks up right to your phone. They have an app for your iPhone and or Android. So, dude, super user-friendly, easy. Then it'll come with your EGR Blockoff plates. We got these here. Here's another plate with the O-ring already installed into it. And then your EGT sensor that will go on your manifold. Along with all of that, you will reuse some metal gaskets from the factory. And then of course your miscellaneous barbs, fittings, zip ties, and bolts. It's a pretty basic kit. It's not too hard. Professional like me, or even a home user like yourself, can do this in your own garage with basic tools. So you may ask yourself, why am I going to tune and delete this truck? Why am I going to do this? Why am I going to spend this money? What's beneficial out of this? Well, I'm going to tell you. First of all, you get better fuel mileage, better power, more power, better sounding exhaust, less heat, less EGTs. It just runs way better. You don't get all the failures from the emission parts, and the emission parts from the dealer or any other aftermarket site for an EGR cooler, exhaust, DPF, injector, all of that is very, very expensive. So you want to get rid of that anyways. It's going to save you a lot of money in the long run on DEF, fuel, which we all know fuel prices are through the roof right now. It's insane. And of course, the parts that are going to break eventually anyways. It's super simple. I mean, after you guys get the tune done, you can go straight dive into your engine bay and get this going, or you can do the exhaust first. Me personally, I like to get the hard part out. I think the exhaust is the easier part. So we get the exhaust done last. Makes you feel a lot better once you're already tired and you're about done with the truck. So makes it a heck of a lot easier. You have all your energy spent on the hardest part, and then it's all good to go. Your first thing that you want to do is obviously drain your coolant. Your EGR cooler has a lot of coolant in it. You don't want to make a huge mess, so before you do anything, we're going to go ahead and drain the coolant. So the coolant petcock valve is over here on the driver's side of the radiator, right here behind the bumper. Super easy to get to. Get you little pliers, twist her open. It's like 180 degrees, I think, and then it'll start draining coolant. As your coolant's draining, we're going to go over here to the passenger side on this big old monstrosity of a cooler, and we're going to start unplugging and disconnecting some coolant lines here, and I'll show you. So this connector will have to be unplugged. This line will have to be disconnected, and while you're at it, you can go ahead and disconnect this line, and we'll just fold this entire, take it off from here, here, and here, and we'll fold this bit, all these coolant lines over to the driver's side so it's completely out of your way. You don't have to worry about it. So let's go ahead and do that. Grab some of these pliers, slide this. We'll just slide this one forward for now. And we'll take these ones right here. Slide this one back. Slide that one back. And then this one back here. This one's kind of a booger because it's facing the wrong way. Just spin it out to you. Pull this one up, just like that. Now, you take your pliers, and this is what I always do. Don't crimp on it too hard. Just very lightly and just wiggle it to break it free. Because once you break it free, then you can, see, you heard that? This one right here will break free, you'll hear this one. See how it breaks free? Makes it way easier to pull off. Same thing with this one, but do not press too hard because these are plastic fittings. You don't want to crush that. Get that all off. We'll just pull this, which there'll be some coolant in here, but it's fine. Pull all these off. And then you will grab a pry tool or a clip removal tool. Let me grab one. Okay, I spawned with one. So, just go ahead and pop this out. Pop that out like that. Pull this out. Same thing here. Pop that one out. And then we'll take all of this. Oh, forgot about this one here. Let's pop this one out too. I didn't see it. Pop it out, pop it out, pop that out. And basically take all of this and just fold it over. We're not going to be working on that side of the engine anyways. Our main focus is right here on top of the EGR cooler. We'll get that out. So I like to get a lot of things out of the way first so that way we have easy access and we're not risking breaking anything. So the next step here for me personally will be taking the air box out, at least this top part, get the air box completely out, and then we'll work more towards the EGR cooler. So basically the first step here is this one has a little red clip. You take your little clip, pop this up, and it unplugs just like that. Well, actually really it doesn't, but you're supposed to just pull this red tab up, push down here, and then it unplugs. And we'll slide that out of the way. Unscrew this right here. It's literally super easy to do this. Pop these clips. This should become loose. It should slide right up out, just like that. And then you got your intake out. So grab you a 9/16 wrench, and before we take this pipe out, we're going to go ahead and break this free, this exhaust temperature. So that way it's just sturdy and you have enough leverage to get this off. Break that free, spin it out. So after you get that air intake out and you disconnect this EGT probe, I just leave it hanging. Just unclip it from right here in this little spot right there. Just unclip it and just leave it hanging, get it out of the way. And then we're going to work on these pipes here. I like to get this pipe out, take this bracket off, so that way we have the most access to those bottom bolts down there on top of the exhaust manifold for this pipe here. And we'll get these pipes out of the way. That way we have the maximum amount of room to start unplugging things and getting the EGR cooler out of here. So my thing is, don't just go take an impact straight to these bolts. They are 8mm bolts or 8mm head bolts. You don't want to break them. So break them free with this. You can even put some WD-40 on there or PB Blast or whatever you have and put those on there and let them soak for a second, and then come in here with a hand ratchet and break them free. Just like so. I like to break them free first, and after I break all these free, then we'll come in here with the zip and zip them all out. Now, do not lose any of these gaskets because we will reuse some of them. We'll only reuse the bottom one actually. We won't reuse these ones. So there's 2 bolts here, 2 bolts here, 2 here, and then 2 down there. And then you have this bracket up top here. Take this bolt out, take these 2 bolts out, unplug all of this. We'll get there. So these 2 bolts down here in the exhaust manifold, it is going into cast. The rest of these bolts, the other 6 bolts, they're going into aluminum. They don't get seized up. Please be careful on the bottom 2 bolts that's going down inside here. Sometimes, that's why I like to get everything out of the way, because you don't want to break one of those off, because there is a block-off plate that has to go there. If you do break one of those off, we're going into much deeper to extract it out. So just be extra careful, and I'll show you guys and give you guys some tips and tricks that I've learned over the last, 18 years of wrenching on things. So I just sprayed it down with some WD-40, but we'll get this bolt out. Just throw it up here for now. We'll get these bolts out. I'm going to take the extension off, see if we can't get this in there. I don't know if we can. Spin it out the rest of the way by hand.
It hit the ground.
It hit the ground, so we're happy. So we'll go ahead and take this bracket off right here on top of the EGR. Just 2 8mm. And then I believe the EGR cooler itself is 10mm. I think 4 10mm and then 2 13mm, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but if I remember correctly, That is how it goes. So as I said before, these last two bolts that go down inside here on the exhaust manifold, I have broken them off before. Now, with that PTSD, I do not want to break them off again. So I always just do the extra on those two bolts. I spray them down with some WD-40 and I will give her a little heat. Nothing too crazy. You can go get this at your local Walmart. It's nothing anything crazy. So we just want to put it right on top of the head of the bolt. Work on one bolt at a time and just make sure you're directing the heat down on top of the exhaust manifold. It already gets this hot anyways, so you're not going to hurt anything down here. So after getting it nice and warm and toasty, go ahead and put your socket down here. It's a 10 mil. Can't believe I didn't know that. They upgraded these. And break it free by hand. So I like to work it back and forth. These are the special tips and tricks that people don't give you anywhere else. Just work it back and forth. Go like a quarter of a turn and then work it back, make it tight again. And just clean those threads up. Real nice and slow. Time is your friend on these ones. If it takes you 30 minutes to take one bolt out, I promise you it's a lot better than spending 3 hours trying to extract one bolt out after you break it. So right there I can feel that it's coming out pretty easy now. So I can go ahead and just completely loosen it. I'll grab it with a magnet, get it out and work on the next one. So after you get that one out, go ahead and work on the next one. Put a little heat to it and do the same exact process as I explained on the last one on the second one. Once you get those out, pull the pipe out, you'll be good to go. Oh, see, that one's tight. See, don't go too far, tighten it back up and loosen it. Clean those threads out really good. See, that one's really, really tight. That one's tighter than the other one. Tighten it back up, clean those threads out, loosen it back up. Just give it a little bit of wiggle room. And I'll do this until it feels really good in the hands. And you can feel it through the ratchet whenever it loosens up and it's good to spin all the way out. It won't be hanging up or dragging as much. Like right there, I can feel it. It's good to go. So we successfully got both of these bolts out without any breaks. Catastrophic failures on these, as I like to say, because that does create a whole day out of it. On the 2020 to 2022s, they did fix it from previous years where they were 8mm bolts. These are now 10mm bolts, so they're a lot stronger and less prone to breaking. So don't be scared to do this in your own garage. Now don't forget that I told you guys to leave this bolt right here in place. Yes, it's already loose. So make sure you get that one out and then this pipe will come right out. It's already falling. Let's get this bolt out. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Make sure you do not drop those bolts down inside that exhaust manifold. We will reuse this gasket and both of these bolts. So do not discard these. Grab you a bright colored rag. Don't grab a black one because you're going to forget about it. And on that exhaust manifold right there where we took that pipe off, plug that hole so we do not drop anything in there. And if you look real closely on that, you can see how much buildup is already on that exhaust manifold. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, and on the EGR cooler, you can see all the buildup, and that is exactly what's going right back into your engine. And that's a prime example. This one's actually a better one that I've seen. This is also a low mileage vehicle, so it doesn't have that much idle time, et cetera, on it. So, with that being said, this is why you tune and delete it. Prime example on this truck. It's not even that bad. I've seen 20 times worse. So this is a prime example on how clogged up these EGR coolers can get. This is a different type of EGR cooler, actually on a Duramax. But they work the exact same way. And as you can see, this port is somewhat open, disgusting, but this port is completely blacked off. We'll throw the photo up on top of the screen here so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. But one port is completely open, still caked up, but the other port blocked off completely. Not a good sign, and it's very, very bad for your engine. That creates a lot of excess heat. All right, so after we got all that, we got the hole plugged off. We're gonna work over here on this bracket, disconnect these vacuums. Yes, you're gonna have some vacuum hose, some vacuum leak. Do not worry about it. And we'll disconnect this line, or this hose. Plug? Yeah, this connector. Super easy, just push down on the center. Grab your little pry bar again, and disconnect this little plastic tab. You see it? It's just holding the harness in place. And we'll just disconnect that Christmas tree and get this bracket. Throw it up here. We got that all disconnected and free. We can go through here while we have this tool, pop that up, get that out of the way, and free all this up. We'll move this out of the way, shove it over here, disconnect this. You can grab a pick, pull that tab out. You're gonna push down right here. I always make sure it's pushed in all the way. Push down right here, slides right off. Super easy. And then for as of back here, I like to disconnect this hose here so we have a lot more room to work with. So you're gonna have a white tab here and a white tab adjacent from there. You're gonna push down on top of this hose. You're gonna pull and you're gonna pinch these two tabs together and you're gonna pull straight up. Just wiggle it right up off there. And now we can get this and move it where we need to so it's out of the way. So right here on the back here, you have these little hold downs. They just literally pry off these studs to release this harness. And these are on the bolts of the EGR cooler that you're gonna have to remove. So just get these out of the way and loosen those up free. So now this moves around and you can get access to those bolts. All right, so for the EGR cooler itself, once you got everything basically disconnected, you have these two bolts up here on the front, these two here on this black plastic wire tray. You'll have this bolt here. You have this bolt here that you already took out because of the bracket. You'll have this bolt. It's behind this stud back here. You have another bolt way back here that you just took the electrical harness off of. And then you'll have another one up underneath the, well, this is the ECM, but we'll have another one way back up in here, which I can't show you. Wish I could, but you'll see it, you'll feel it. Super easy to get. Well, that one's kind of the worst one to get to, but let's get all those out real quick and we'll get to it. Get this one out.
Middle?
Yep, one down here and then one right back there.
All the way in the back. Yep.
So you have those two and then the one in the very back here that you the electrical harness off of, and then we'll be good to go. And you just basically put that on a normal ratchet. So grab you the biggest pry bar that you have, and it's literally just to take this little bracket right off. That's it. That's all you had to do. I'm overkill. You didn't need this, but I figured I didn't want to bend over. Just use this for leverage and reach. After you get all the outer bolts that I mentioned before, I forgot that there is one hiding right here. Go ahead and just zip her out real quick. All right, so now that you got all the bolts out, electrical connections on the EGR cooler, that V18, V16 engine on top of the engine, grab one of these pry bars, and we're gonna just go ahead and break these free. Please don't break anything. So watch where you pry. Like it's not very many options, but see how that just broke free? And because you pre-drained the coolant while taking all this apart, by the time you broke this free, you don't make a big mess. So this little foam tabs right here, you just gotta pop these free. I forgot about those. And then after that, it should be home free. You gotta shimmy her out. So, and then you guys will see exactly why I call this a V16. And the coolant all over me is the cherry on top. So for block-off plates, we've got 3 block-off plates. The big one will go right here, and it's got dowels for it. Reuse these O-rings. There's nothing wrong with them. They weren't leaking before. They're fine now. Next one will go here, and the third one will go down here, and we'll grab them and show you exactly where they go. I'm telling you guys can do this literally in your backyard. You don't need to go pay a shop $5,000, $4,000, $2,000 worth of labor to do this. You can if you want to, and you don't have the tools and all of that, then yes, of course you can. But if you really want to do a budget, go get this entire kit off of dynamicdiesels.com. I'm going to link my code down below. I'm going to get you a 10% off code, which is just CRUDE, all capitals, C-R-U-D-E. You can use that with the link and that code, and it gets you 10% off any kit that you buy or anything that you buy off the website. So basically, this is your flat plate. Those O-rings will press against here, and it'll seal it, and it'll stop the coolant from flowing over to one other port. They have these 2 little holes right here, which line up with the dowels on the valve cover there. and you can only, this hole is offset, as you can see, it's offset to one side, and it can only go one way. So this is exactly how it's going to go. If you got the same exact kit, you're going to be installing it just like this. Go on, line up your dowels. That sits on there. It supplies 3 Allen head bolts, and you're going to use this 3 supplied Allen head bolts. Get those started. They all line up just like that. And these are a 5, I believe, a metric 5 Allen head. I would tighten down the center first, just get it snug, and then obviously alternate. Come back through and check them. They are good. Now on to the next one, which will be the exhaust one. And remember, we saved those bolts and that gasket, and that's what we're going to use. So you have 2 different plates left. You got this one with the O-ring, and then you got this one with the EGT port on top. We're going to be using the silver one with the EGT port on top. Again, like I said, we're using the old gasket and the old 10mm bolts. So let's go ahead and throw the gasket down on top of here, just like so. Set this down on top, and then line up your holes. That one's lined up, and this one's lined up. Snug those down, and then we can add our exhaust port. Clean this surface. Oh, don't do that. Put your little brake clean on here. I always do too much. But just clean this surface up because it will be an O-ring sealing this instead of a metal gasket now. So you want to make sure that this is nice and clean. And then you will grab the other block-off plate with the O-ring, and you're going to grab the last 2 Allen heads that are left over, and we're going to be installing this right now. Let's snug these up. Again, snug them up evenly. Do not tighten one side completely. Just nice and snug. Do not over crush that O-ring. Now, 99% of it is done. Now we're going to have to go back through, put some things, plug some things back in, as in coolant lines, and we're going to modify this big old hose over here because we are not going to be using the one hose, which is this one right here, the one with the short one with the aluminum foil that used to go to the EGR cooler. We're going to be cutting this clamp off and getting rid of this T. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to use the barb fitting that is supplied in the kit. We're going to cut all 3 of these clamps. We're going to get rid of this hose completely, get rid of this T, and then plug these in together with 2 new clamps and the barb fitting. I'll show you that on this next step. So basically what you want to do, I forgot to tell you guys this, but basically these here, we'll zip tie these back so they're out of the way. We'll just zip tie these with the rest of the harness here so they're out of the way. Zip tie them or tape them up, whatever you want to do. And we'll just tuck this back way out of the way so it's nice and clean. Put it down there. You don't have no worries about it getting burnt, melted, or anything. And after that, we're going to take this hose that we took off before, and you want to make sure that these are lined up. I'm going very thorough with this because some people don't know, and I really want everybody to be able to do this. So line these tabs up with these holes, and you're just going to push lock that back in. So basically, guys, what I'm doing here is I'm going to the extra mile because there is very little highly detailed videos out there, and I feel like a lot of people, yes, they're doing it. Yes, they know how to do it, but I know how to do this. I don't have to explain all of this, but going in more depth and telling you each individual step, tips and tricks so you don't end up getting yourself in a bind, and making this to where anybody and everybody that watches this video, no matter what kind of skill level you have in auto mechanics, you can do this job at your house. Oh, this is nice quality exhaust. I know earlier in the video I did say it was 4-inch. I lied. It's 5-inch. Very high. Look at this. They packed the ends in. Dude, that is nice quality stuff. Look at the quality of this pipe. You could literally, if you wanted to sand this down and polish it, this is the best quality exhaust pipe that you're going to get to be able to sand down and fully polish this exhaust. This is very nice stuff. Even the TIG welds here, phenomenal work on the hangers. And they obviously come with all of your very nice band clamps. So everything is a complete kit, as I say, one-stop shop. Wow, this is very nice. I like this. Grab your intake. put it back down in here. Let's get this all situated back up in here. Make sure those little tabs down here in the bottom all line up. Shove that down into place. Shove that down into place. Connect your tabs. Connect your harness. Locking tab in, and then we will, as soon as I find my little screwy driver, make sure this is all the way on. Tighten your band clamp up here, or your hose clamp. Okay, she's tight. Now, moving forward to your coolant hoses here. So basically, this will all go in the same place. All of this, I'm just gonna lightly put this here because we're gonna modify this. This will still go here. You know, all of this will still go back into your hold downs, and your push pins will all go back in the same places over here. Everything will be the same. The only thing that you're changing is this T. So let's go ahead, grab our clippers or our cutters and cut this out, and we'll get this modified for you guys, and I'll show you the exact process on how to do that. You can grab you some needle nose pliers, any pliers whatsoever. I come up underneath here, right where they have it tabbed. You can try to cut it, but it's a pain. So we got that one off. Take that clamp off because we're not going to use that. Throw it over your shoulder. Try to play some basketball. Last one is this one here. They are not fun to do, by the way. These are kind of a pain. Okay, so for the last one, we got this. Take this off. We're not going to be using this T anymore. We're deleting it. And now, get rid of this hose clamp. Throw it over your shoulder. All right, so you come over here to the rest of the kit, and there should be a barb fitting and 2 hose clamps. We're going to go ahead and insert this into here. Go ahead until it stops right there on the center. And we'll orient this here in a second. I think I'll probably go, I'll probably go like that. Probably. No, I'm just kidding. Let's go over here. Let's go back. Go ahead and put this on there as well. And we will plug it straight into here. That's all we're doing. Basically all we're doing is getting rid of this T and that other hose that we threw over our shoulder a second ago, because we will not be using it anymore. And make sure you orient this to where it's gonna still lay flat. And go ahead and just plug that in right there. We want to make sure it's good. We'll pull this back off. And I'll tighten these up. Tighten your hose clamps up. And then this part's done. Basically, we have completed the EGR process. There's nothing else on this side besides clean up your wiring, make sure it's all out of the way and cleaned up nice and neat. Make sure these are tight. Plug in the rest of your hoses, which I'll show you exactly where they go, so that way if you did forget, we'll show you right now. You don't have to go back on the video and go look. Now that you got this hose modified and the hose clamps tight, we're gonna go ahead and route this into place where we need to route it. So again, we're going to take our pliers, rotate this around so we can access this. Plug this into here. Slide this clamp down where it needs to go. Like so, and I try to line it up where it used to sit. This will go right back into here. This will just kind of lay right in here now. It doesn't have a spot really. I just like to tuck it back in there. This will go back inside of here, clip around here. This will clip back onto here. And this will also clip back onto here. And then for over here, push this Christmas tree in. And then connect it here. Reapply your hose clamp. Shimmy this one up on there. Oop. Shimmy this back up on there, and she is done. Now, last thing is to clean up your wiring, which basically back in here, I tucked this back away. We're just going to, ultimately we're just gonna zip tie these together. And please cut your tails. Do not leave your tails. Cut the tail or you get your tail beat. And basically, after that, you kind of just shove them down inside here. Just get them out of the way. You don't have to zip tie it. Just kind of push them down and out of the way. And they're good to go. That's all you need. Nothing too fancy. This is attached. These are all hooked back into place. This is hooked back in. And everything's done on the EGR side. You got your 3 block-off plates in. That's as easy as it gets. That is super easy, and now you have much more room for activities, and we can actually close that valve on the coolant, on the radiator, close that petcock valve, and then go ahead and put your coolant back into the system. And the EGR process is done. Now we're gonna go ahead and move forward to the exhaust. Guys, it is as simple as that. EGR, block-off plates, and the EGR is now removed. Block-off plates are installed. The engine bay side is done. That's the hardest part. Exhaust is next, and this is all that you should have left over, but you have your EGR cooler, your EGR tubes, your sensor for your EGR valve, which are vacuum operated, and then, which those can just stay open, it's not a big deal. And then you have
bolts and gaskets.
And leftover coolant hose that you're no longer using that used to go to your EGR cooler. And that's that for the EGR side. Now, for us specifically, we have the lift, and for filming purposes, we are going to put the truck on the lift it up, and so that way we have a way better angle of filming and showing you guys exactly what to take apart, what not to take apart. And that way we're not on the ground. You guys get a better visual at it. You guys can do it on the ground. I've done plenty of them on the ground. Just keep in mind, you might have to jack up the back end of the truck, like at the hitch, to get the tailpipe out, which you guys will see this. But with it being up in the air and suspension drooped, we won't have to do that, being on the lift. Let's move forward to the exhaust. So first things first, I take a can of WD-40, PB Blast, or whatever you have, some lubricants. I like to hit all the nuts and bolts. I like to hit the hangers, so like right there, we'll just hit that hanger so it's easier to get out. Makes it a breeze. Like these hangers right here, we'll hit these real quick. Makes it way easier to get them out. We'll hit these nuts and bolts, just to be sure. You know how exhaust stuff is. Okay, hit this little spacer. Perfect, let it all drip on the ground. We've got a hanger right here we'll hit, so it's easier to pry these out. So basically what we're gonna do, we're gonna go through here and we're going to unplug all of your electrical connections off of the DPF. This is, right here is your whole entire DPF filter system. I call it a spaceship. It is a massive space shuttle underneath these trucks. We'll go through and unplug all of these, which I'll show you here in a minute. So like right here, example, we've got the DPF, the DEF fluid injector, which, let's undo that little snap. And then this is your injector, which you have two push pins here, and you push down, hit these two push pins, and then it'll pull right off. If you break these clips, it's not a big deal. Honestly, we're not reusing them, because they are a booger sometimes. Go ahead and push this in on the center, pull it up off. That is now disconnected for the injector. And then we've got a ton of other ones. So you just trace these wires back to where they go. So right here on this frame, we've got the same thing, which if you guys can't see it, just push down there, where my finger's at. Let me put this in my pocket. Wiggle and pull out here. That disconnects this little easy, see it up here? Yep. This sensor up here disconnects that. These with the big gray wiring harnesses will go to a module. It's like a knock sensor, and it's gonna come out here on the frame. On the outside of the frame is where it comes. So right here is where this one connects to. Basically, you're going to push this unlocking tab. Okay, disconnect this. Push down right here. Use a little screwdriver and just pry that up off there. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our prying mechanism here. And we're gonna pop this off the frame. And then we'll feed this up through here. Put this over here. Boom, that's out. Now you know this is all disconnected. So we've got all three disconnected. We've got this probe here. We got this knock sensor type deal. We've got the DEF supply and the electronic connector to the DEF injector disconnected. And you're gonna go down and disconnect every single one. Here's another one, another sensor, which this one comes over on the inside of the frame here again, just like the first one. We're gonna push down here, connect it right on out, throw it up over, disconnected. And you can see a better view of it right here. This sensor right here needs to be disconnected. For right here, that is it. We have some back here as well. So we'll have this one here, which we can use our little pry tool. We can disconnect this Christmas tree. And we've got a locking tab, a white locking tab. We'll push back, just like so. Just like so. Push down on that white locking tab, pull that out. All right, so basically you had to get a big old pry bar up in there and just pop pop this off the frame and disconnect this one here, and you reach up over top of the frame and disconnect this connector. It has a white tab, safety lock tab. You pull that back, push down, just like the rest of the connectors. Pull that out, this will drop down. And then this is the last connector that you have to worry about. Now we're gonna go forward and we're going to disconnect. We'll take this apart, slide the tailpipe off of the hangers, remove this, and move our way forward. Get you a 15 mil, take out these 3 bolts right here. Now go ahead and get you a big old pry bar, and we're going to pry this hanger off of here the best way possible. Is sometimes it's a pain to find a place to pry at. Basically, we'll pull these back. Basically, as best as you can. It will be a pain, you just gotta manipulate it, it'll be fine. Just like that. Okay, we got this one pried up off. All right, now let's move to the back and get that one completely out and pull the tailpipe out. Then, just like that, we have the tailpipe.
Huge.
Tell me that don't look way better. So these 2 pieces connected will replace this piece here. This is the over the axle, and this is your basically your tip is what it's going to be. So let's go in here, and we're going to take out. As you guys can see, we have 2 pieces here. On long beds, you'll use both of these pieces. On non-long beds, you won't use both. You only use 1 piece. So on the short beds, you'll use 1 piece. But let's get the rest of this out with the same 15 millimeter bolts, and we'll get the rest of these out real quick. I don't know where that socket went. This piece is out. Perfect. After you get those 2 pieces removed, we're going to go ahead and work on the DPF section here. We have to remove these 2 bolts here, and then the DPF should come out. But we have a couple hangers as well. So these are 13 millimeter bolts. Do not try to go on the back side here on the nuts. The nuts are welded to this plate, so you have to come from the bolt side and loosen them up. So we've got that unbolted. Now there's a hanger right here above my head, and then there's one back there. They go opposite directions. Oh yeah, sorry, 2 of them right here. They go opposite directions, so we are going to take these 2 out first and let it hang down here, and then we'll take this last one out, because this is heavy. You might need a buddy. If you're on the ground, you can let it hit the ground or use a little jack stand. Super easy, but with here, I can use my transmission jack or I can use a buddy. We'll see which way we go. I might just try to manhandle it. So for this hanger right here that's mounted to the frame, we're just gonna go ahead and take these 2 nuts off. They're 13s on the back side here. You're not gonna use them on the new exhaust. The new exhaust don't have any hangers right here, so you can go ahead and take these off. Now she's dropped down. Okay. Now the last one is back here.
2 of them.
The last 2. And since we're up top here, I'm gonna grab my trans jack just because we're gonna spray the heck out of these, because these are drier than the Sahara Desert. Connector. Oh, hold on, we forgot a connector right here. So apparently you can't see this connector from up above or from down below, but you have to disconnect this. Okay. Now we got the majority of the exhaust out right here. Oh, that is what I call the Elon Musk spaceship. Now
Just pretty much it.
And as you guys can see up underneath here, it is clean and clear. Free home. So if you've gotten this far on your delete kit, or you were curious, it comes with a new plate for the new pipe that connects to the down pipe. And to myself, I was like, man, where are the bolts at? Because those nuts are welded to this DPF. But obviously it comes with brand new bolts. It's in one of your kit, or one of your band clamps here. The smaller box out of the entire kit, it comes in there, brand new bolts, and it's for the 3-inch or 4-inch to 5-inch band clamp. So we'll put that on here in a second. Let's put this first piece in, and my recommendation to you is to never, when you're installing new exhaust, you never want to tighten anything yet. So you want to get everything just hand tight, get the entire exhaust in, and then work from your way, from your front to the back. Work from the front to your way back. After you get all the pieces in and they're all in there just loosely mounted, then you go from the front and tighten everything up as you go backwards. All right, so after you got this one loosely installed, you can see it has a couple bends here. It has like 2 bends up in here right above the cross member. Like I said, it's very loose. We just got it on there hand tight. And we're gonna move this, twist it one way or the other to get this to line up the best way with the rest of the exhaust. So your next piece is going to be this one here. Has the hanger on the end here. And we are going to grab the 3-inch or the 4-inch clamp. So the bevel side, the wider side has to go facing this way because this will be going on the outside of this. So just loosen it up so that way you can slide this all the way over it. You can put it on afterwards, it's just easier to do it this way. And then we will install this real quick. All right, get it started and then push it on. This is not easy. This is good. If you don't think it's on all the way, we're gonna take a block of wood and a hammer. It's the best way of doing it so you don't mess up your end, your exhaust end. That way you're not messing this up. Just go ahead and put it here and just. Yep. Okay, now that we got that all the way in, we might have some minor adjustments here and there. We're gonna leave this loose for now because we have to orient this exhaust, orientate. We have to orientate this exhaust on where we need it to go the rest of the way. So grab the next piece, which is going to be, our very next piece is gonna be the double swelled. So we can go to the back of that and then onto this one here. Over the axle. Let's put this one on with a band clamp. And it should be, these band clamps should be straights. Or not straights, they should be stepped as well. So the step side will go to this side, because it is swelled up here. So we got this in, and put it in all the way till it stops. This will slide. You have to loosen this up some more, but slide your band clamp up here. Hand tighten it so it don't move. And just leave it like that for now. Now, on to the next step, which is the piece that goes over the axle. In here, I had to get some help, but we got it in there. Now, make sure you spray these rubber boots, these little rubber mounts up here. You just spray them. Make sure they got some lubrication on them. Makes it way easier to push them through. And then, get this up here. Get that one started. And get that one started. Now, tailpipe. The most fun of them all. Because you want to make sure it's freaking perfect. And you want to know, you want to make sure everybody knows that you got a rowdy truck. So again, make sure you lube up your rubbers. Don't ever want them dry. Go ahead in here on an angle. Push this in. Oh, line this up. And it goes right in. Pretty nice. It hangs down right here. Gives you enough room if you do want to put a tip, like an extra tip, to come out some more past the bedside. You can put a tip on there. It gives you plenty of room between this logo that's tacked on the back here and the end where you can put a tip right here and then come out to like right here with the tip. So it's very nice. They think about everything on this kit. So if you guys, again, want a kit and you want to get the nicest quality and show off to all your friends and have zero problems with emissions, go ahead to that link down below. Use code CRUDE, capital C-R-U-D, or C-R-U-D-E, 10% off your order. I don't see why you haven't done it yet. Sorry, I'm fidgeting with my flashlight. Anywho, as you guys can see, we have got the complete, I don't know, this is Black Bandit. That's what they use for exhaust there. Quality shit. This stuff is phenomenal. We got all the band clamps in there and tight. Entire exhaust ain't going nowhere. It's like it's strapped down. Honestly, very nice, high quality stuff. Everything lined up perfectly, and it looks way better than
whatever that is.
Elon's spaceship that he decided to put underneath these trucks. All right, so whenever you go to tune this truck, you have to make sure that there's a battery tender to it. It has to be above 12.5 volts. If it gets down below that, you run into trouble. Just put a battery tender on it, it'll be fine. 5 amp, 2 amp, 15 amp. Just put a little tender on it, make sure it stays charging as you're tuning it. Come over here to the truck. Open the driver door open. This truck has aftermarket amp steps on it, or maybe not aftermarkets. I don't know. They plug in right here at your OBD2, so you can unplug that. And then you put your auto agent in here. Plug that in. Make sure you have your key. And hit the accessory. So.
Testing.
Buddy wants to go fast. Look at him.
System ready.
Race truck now, baby. So you're gonna open up the auto agent app, let it do its thing, let it connect, everything. The nicest thing about EasyLink is it's literally easy. Like, it's the easiest way to tune and flash these vehicles. They're amazing. So basically it walks you through right here. Make sure you're connected to Wi-Fi, the EasyLink Wi-Fi. Go to your settings, go up here, click the EasyLink Wi-Fi, let that connect, and then once it connects onto your phone here, you will then go back to the app. Just connected. We'll go back to the app. It shows all of your graphs here. You can literally change these graphs to whatever you want. You can change them to whatever, but let's get into the tuning process. So we need to go to vehicle and we need to connect to a technician. Make sure you're connected to your technician. We are connected to our technician here. And then we will go to ECU profiles. But before that, we want to make sure that all codes are already off of the vehicle. So before we do that, we can go to the 3 bars up here on top. We'll go to DTC. It's going to have a lot of codes right now because I like to do my tuning right there. Clear all the codes. Get rid of all the codes no matter what. Clearing all codes. Come back to vehicle. Go to ECU profiles. And here is where all of your tunes are at. So this customer, or this guy specifically wanted a, we'll just do a 100 horsepower single on it. Or we can do a tow rumbler limiter. Is that fine? Let's do that one. He said keep it safe. Let's keep it safe. They're all safe tunes, by the way. None of them are they're all safe. They also have switch on the fly tunes, so you can add a switch on the fly. It's a little dial switch. You can put that on there. They have that on the website as well. You can get switches if you would want. We did not get one on this one. So we're going to transfer ECU profile to auto agent. So it's basically what it's doing is taking the file from the cloud, putting it onto the auto agent down here, and then it's going to walk you through the entire step right here. So it says turn it off. We go over here, turn it off. We hit continue. Perfect. Now to make sure, it's telling you make sure your everything's good to go. Turn it back onto accessory. Hit continue once everything boots up here. I also, if you guys are watching, I also turn off like your AC, your fan, all of that. Make sure none of that's running. That way it's not drawing more power from the battery while you're doing this. Hit continue and it's going to start the tuning procedure here. Guys, do not freak out when you see all of these, well, I like to call them Christmas lights. They're flashing, they're dinging, they're blinking, they're doing everything. They're strobing, like everything. It's just, all lights will be on the dash. It's going to say a whole bunch of things. Do not worry about it. It's because it is going into the ECM, wiping the factory file off of it, and then now uploading a new file on it. So, like right there, it just said engine coolant over temp. But trust me, it is fine. Just don't touch anything. Leave it do its own thing. Let it do its own thing. And we're already at 20%. So we're good to go. To finish uploading. Now follow the directions on the screen. The app literally is making you have to have zero brains whatsoever. It's super easy. Literally it says turn off the ignition, turn it off. Hit the OK button after it's off. Now it says to turn it back on. It makes you jump through little hula hoops. Excuse me. Connection. Installation was completed successfully. Now we're good to rip on her. And as you guys can see, the DEF fluid level is maxed out where it was at a quarter. It's good to go. It's already got rid of all of that. We have no codes. And we can make sure that we have no codes, so we'll go back. Sometimes we have codes. Literally go on the app here, go to DTC, come up here, we'll read all the codes because it got lost communication with everything, and we'll clear all the codes. We'll go back in, and we'll start this thing up. Okay.
Ready for a cold start?
That is it. Ready for a cold start. So the next thing that you're going to want to check is you're going to want to make sure you keep an eye on your coolant level. You're going to go ahead and take it on a test drive. Make sure you disconnect your battery tender, get it out of the way, and just go over all of your work. Make sure none of this is leaking right here. You can put your hands over all of this. Make sure none of this is leaking. And just go over all of your work and make sure everything's good to go. After you've already confirmed that everything's good to go, you are ready to go and take it on a test drive. After the test drive, you're going to want to make sure you check your coolant level again. Always check your coolant level, because once it gets up to operating temperature, it will drop the coolant level back down after burping the system. And after that, you're good to go. So basically what you guys are going to really notice on these trucks are a huge difference in throttle response. Your obviously power, we'll go down in here and we'll check the fuel mileage, fuel economy on what they were getting, 13.8. I guarantee you after this trip, it'll be around at least 15, bare minimum 15. Usually I see way higher than 15. I usually see 18 to 20 mile a gallon out of one of these trucks. So we'll reset this right now. We'll take it down the back road and then we'll go ahead and get on the interstate. And from there on the interstate, especially with this 10-speed transmission and your 2020 to 2022s, oh brother, it is going to get an insane amount of fuel mileage, especially in those higher gears. Now mind you, this is just on a tow tune. It's nothing crazy, nothing rowdy. It is what anybody that has a daily driver or work truck, you guys need this. The throttle response is way stronger. The noise isn't too much. So like you don't have a lot of drone, you don't have, even with the 5-inch, you don't have a lot of drone. You can hear your truck, you can still hear it over yourself thinking or speaking or whatever. It's not obnoxiously loud. A lot of people get the thoughts of tuning and deleting their truck. It's super loud. It is not obnoxious. It can be if you're in the throttle, but typically it's maintainable. So like I said, we just finished up with the highway driving and we're at 18.9 getting off the get off ramp. So about 19 miles a gallon is what we just averaged. And we were cruising 75 to 80 the whole time. So again, it bumps your fuel mileage up a ton. I mean, he just went from 13 to 19 miles a gallon off of just that. Now you go ahead and calculate that over the next year or two. I mean, you're gonna get your money's worth out of this kit for sure. It's definitely worth it. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, if you guys want to get that kit and you want a high quality kit that is everything, go to dynamicdiesels.com. I have the link down below, and go ahead and use CRUDE, C-R-U-D-E, as a discount code. They were grateful enough to give me that. I'm grateful for them giving me that to give to you guys. Go ahead and use that code and get 10% off your entire order. Like, comment, subscribe. See you guys later.